So what if I told you there's a book from way back in 1910 that says getting rich isn't about luck or talent, but that it's an exact science? Like algebra or arithmetic. It's not some lofty philosophy, but a practical, step-by-step manual. Well, today we're diving into that very book by Wallace Wattles, The Science of Getting Rich, to break down this incredible century-old formula for wealth.
Right out of the gate, Wattles hits you with this. It's a statement designed to shock you a little, to completely flip conventional wisdom on its head. He's basically saying that desire isn't greed, and that being okay with having less when you're capable of more isn't some noble virtue, it's actually a failure to live up to your potential. This one idea, this is the key that unlocks his entire system.
So why is such a radical idea? Well, Wattles doesn't see the pursuit of wealth as a selfish thing at all. He frames it as a fundamental right. The argument is pretty simple. To fully develop your body, your mind, and your soul, you need things. You need resources.
And here's where it all connects. According to Wattles, the whole point of life is to grow, to develop. But think about it. To really grow, you need stuff. You need books to expand your mind, travel to enrich your soul, good food to nourish your body. And in our world, all of that requires money. So he concludes that the right to life itself means you have the right to be rich enough to live that life to the absolute fullest.
Okay, this brings us to the book's central, most powerful claim. Getting rich is not a game of chance. It's not about luck or who you know or even raw talent. It is a science, and it's governed by very specific laws. And if you learn those laws and apply them correctly, becoming wealthy isn't just possible, it's a mathematical certainty.
And the core of that entire science comes down to this one phrase, the certain way. This is the foundation of the whole process. Wattles argues over and over that it's not really what you do that matters most, it's the way you do it.
And to prove this, he just tells you to look around. You see rich people and poor people in every single environment, with every possible level of talent and education, right? Some penny pinchers stay poor their whole lives, while some free spenders get incredibly wealthy. So clearly, none of those external things can be the real cause. The one thing all wealthy people have in common, he says, is that they all, whether they know it or not, do things in this certain way.
Now, before you can act a certain way, you have to understand the material you're working with. Wallace proposes that everything in the universe is made from one single original, intelligent, thinking substance. Just imagine it as this raw, creative energy that makes up everything. And here's its most important quality. This substance takes the shape of whatever thought is impressed upon it.
For this science to work, Wattles says you have to accept these three core ideas as absolute fact. No doubting, no skepticism. This is the scientific basis for his whole system. First, believe this one substance exists. Second, believe that your thoughts create form within it. And third, you have to believe that you have the power to kickstart that whole process of creation.
So, how does this actually become a practical process? Well, it all starts with the first half of the equation, thinking in the certain way. This is absolutely critical because every single action you take is just a direct result of how you think. You gotta master your mind first. And this is where the rubber meets the road. Just vaguely wishing for more money has zero power. You have to create a super precise, detailed, crystal clear mental image of exactly what you want. What does your life actually look like when you're rich? You have to see the house, feel what it's like to take those trips, imagine having those relationships. The clearer your picture, the stronger your impression on that thinking substance. But just having a clear picture isn't enough. You have to charge it with a very specific mental attitude. It's a three-part cocktail. First, you need unwavering faith that what you want is already yours on a creative level. Second, you need a fixed purpose to make it a reality. And third, and this one is so important, you need a constant feeling of deep gratitude. You have to be thankful for it now, as if you already have it.
This quote really just nails the whole concept. The real act of receiving something happens in your mind first. You mentally take ownership of it, and you live from that feeling of possession long before it ever shows up in the physical world. That is the essence of faith in this scientific process.
All right, now for the part that so many people miss. Thought by itself isn't enough. You can't just meditate on your couch and expect a check to appear in the mail. Your thoughts put these incredible creative forces into motion, but you have to be the one to connect that power to your own personal action to actually receive the results.
So, this is the million-dollar question, isn't it? If action is so critical, when's the right time to start?
The answer couldn't be simpler. It's now, not tomorrow, not when you finally get a better job or when you have more startup capital. The only time you have any power to act is in this present moment. All of your energy has to be applied to your current environment, your current business, today.
And look, not all action is created equal. Inefficient action is just being busy. You're rushing, you're worrying, you're doing things half-heartedly. Efficient action is about doing everything you possibly can do today and performing each separate task, no matter how tiny it seems, as a success in itself. Every single act has to be filled with the faith and purpose of your bigger vision.
And finally, for this whole science to really click into place, Waddle says you have to make one last, absolutely massive shift in your thinking. You have to move from a competitive mindset to a creative one.
The competitive mind sees the world as a limited pie. To get your slice, someone else has to get a smaller one. It's a world built on limitation and struggle. But the creative mind, it knows that the thinking substance is unlimited. There is no scarcity. You don't have to take from anyone, you create brand new wealth from this formless source, which adds to the riches of the world and makes sure there's more for everybody.
And that really leaves us with the ultimate question, doesn't it? If this science is real, then wealth isn't about fighting over what's already here. It's about bringing something completely new into existence through focused thought and inspired action. So, the only question left is, what will you create?